What's up is Way Up with Angela Yee, and Jess Hilarious has left the Breakfast Club, and now she's on Way Up. No.
You already know what's up.
But listen, Jess Hilarious, first of all, so glad to have you in here. I was excited that they said you were going to come and do Way Up for your book, Till Death Do We Parent.
Yes.
So congratulations.
Thank you, Angela.
On this project. And initially, you talk about what made you write this book about co-parenting as opposed to another book. Why was this on your heart first?
Well, me and my son's father, everywhere we go, people are like, why do y'all call each other brother and sister? How the hell can you even look at somebody that you once laid with and had a baby with as a brother? And I think that response is always because of the stigma that's been put on Black families, especially families, period, but Black families especially, because people always feel like in Black families, when the relationship doesn't make it, girl, that's the end of everything. Like and it's impossible to have a co-parenting relationship, right? Like they always feel like it has to be dysfunction or toxicity or whatever. And that's not me and Rome. Now, we didn't always.
Yeah, you had to get there.
Yeah, we had to get there. It's a roller coaster, but I love how we ended up, right? And that's pretty much why I wanted to write the book now.
I'm glad you said it, because there are people listening right now who are going through it. And to know that they could come through on the other side and actually be friends, it may feel impossible at a certain time, but I think for you, you've always said the goal is that you have to make sure that Ash, your son, is good.
Yes, absolutely.
And people have to get to that point. Now, the biggest problem with Rome was that Stevie J was his role model.
Girl, from the rip, like at the jump, like that was his, like he changed his Instagram name from, I forgot what it was, to Romy J.
That's crazy.
He had a chain made Romy J. He made girls call him in school because he went to Morgan State University, one of the best HBCUs. He had people calling him Romy J.
You know, people don't understand the impact that watching these shows really does have.
Yes.
I know he was only in college, he was young, but people are impressionable, and sometimes they think certain things are cool. So while we might be like, you know, we know that's ridiculous, this guy is out of his mind, people literally were like, I'm Stevie J.
Absolutely, because when I was watching the show, I'm looking at what a scumbag Stevie was. I'm like, what? And then I'm mad for Mimi. I'm mad at Jocelyn at first, but then I'm mad for Mimi. And then Rome is watching it from a different perspective. He's like, oh yeah, he that nigga.
Get on the
he
bus.
the man. I need to be like that. Yeah, the bus.
Yeah.
And so I got off the bus real quick. I ain't got time.
Not real quick, though.
Well, not real quick. Not real quick. I didn't know that it was other passengers getting on, Angela. I thought I was the only one on the bus.
That bus driver was letting people on the back of the bus and the front of the bus.
All
people
of that.
wasn't paying their fare.
Girl.
You know, one question that we always have as women is, why do we stay so long in a situation that we know isn't going to work? And we get all the red flags. So for people listening, let's talk about red flags in a relationship. What would you say are some red flags that women should watch out for? Because you found out you were pregnant at 19, and this was something you really wanted to make work. But for people who are listening, how do you know, what were some things for you that were indicative that this is never going to work?
Man, well, honestly, I'm not going to say I didn't see the red flag. Well, I did. I honestly really did.
You did.
I really did.
You ignored them.
I ignored them purposely for a while because I couldn't get over the plan that I had thought that I've written from my own life. And that's why I say God always had, like, I always say God has a sense of humor, because I know he was like, look at you writing your story. You don't need your little 19-year-old ass. You're a baby. You don't know. Like, this is not going to be who I send to you to marry and have all your kids with. But the red flags were always how Rome couldn't be by himself. If I was away, if I was like, because we couldn't be around each other 24/7. He was in school. Then, you know, I worked, and we lived on the opposite ends of Baltimore, right? So I lived over west, he lived over east. He could not be by himself. Like, he had to always have somebody that he was talking to, somebody, whether it was somebody else's girl or a girl that he met in school, or somebody to keep his attention. Rome always needed a female for every different area of his life, where he felt like one female wasn't fulfilling him in this area, he had to have another one. And like, he had a female best friend who he wouldn't introduce me to at first. Ooh, that's a red flag.
That's definitely a red flag.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, and I didn't even write about this in the book.
I was like, I don't recall that
exactly.
being my best friend.
But I remember that when we had started dating, this before I even found out I was pregnant, I was like 18, going on 18, and he would not introduce me to her. Then he had this ex that he lived like 2 blocks from. She would pop up at his house while I was over there. Just all time. Yeah. But she wouldn't pop up like she was trying to still deal with him. She would pop up just to let me see her, to see if I would be intimidated by her, because they weren't together. They weren't dealing with each other. But the fact that he would never put her in her place, the fact that he was just okay with it and thought that I would be okay with it.
That should never be happening.
That should never be happening.
Like, a man needs to take care of those things so that you're not affected by them.
Exactly. Then I also seen a lot of red flags when I saw like his family dynamic, like with his dad. His dad was like never home, you know, and so it was a lot of, and his dad was married to his stepmother, you know, and it was a lot of infidelity that his dad was putting his stepmother through. That's why we never saw him. And Rome would vent to me like about how he wished his father was there because his mother was deceased, and how he had to change his life completely. So it was a lot of venting that Rome would do, and I would hear it. And I would know instantly, laying there next to him while he's venting to me, like, he need a therapist. Yeah. But also, this is not supposed to be this is not the person that I see myself with. Like, he's very, he got a lot to work on.
And you can't fix him.
I can't fix him. We the same age. I don't even know, like, what I'm even doing here, laying in this basement all the way across town. My parents would whip my ass.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And thank God your mom was like, you ain't raising that baby in that man's basement.
Yes. Because, I was really so delusional, Angela. I really tried to. I was like, Ma, I want to go home with my son.
I want to live in the basement.
In the basement where the cat's at and everything. And she was like, no, you're not. So.
We always talk about women growing up without their mom or without their dad in their life in the right way. And sometimes I don't think we have that conversation about what men go through when they don't have their father around, or he had a stepmother who wasn't very affectionate, and how that affected him, and not giving that as an excuse, but more like a reason why he was the way that he was, that he wasn't really kind of lasered in on.
Yeah. So his stepmother she was a very militant woman. She was the provider. Like, whatever they needed, she made sure she got it for them. She, like, provided a roof over their head, clothes on their back, water in their mouth, food on the table and everything. Like I said, we hardly saw his father.
Yeah.
Like, he hardly saw his father. So his stepmom stepped in, and it was 4 boys that she was raising, including Rome. 3 of them hers. Rome is not her son, but she is treating him as if he is hers, and she's carrying basically the whole household, but she was not. I also did get to observe while I was there living in the basement that she was not much of a nurturer. I never really saw her like coddle her kids or hug them, kiss on them, tell them I love you or anything like that. It was really none of that. And that was big for Rome, because before his mom had passed, he was her world. Yeah. He was her only child.
He was a mama's boy.
And he used to sleep in the bed with his mom. And she was a nurturer and was very affectionate, and that was a big uproot for his life, and so I think him not ever getting any therapeutic consolation for any of that affected him in his adult life. Even
he
now.
Probably didn't see a lot of people doing therapy either.
Nope,
at that time.
No.
You also never put him on child support.
Never.
Now I think this is an interesting conversation because the lights would be off at the house and things would be going on, and he wouldn't want to give you money.
Girl, no.
Even though you were the primary caregiver for Ash and he was staying with you, and it's not like you were blowing the money. You were responsible enough to make sure that you could at least go buy some candles when
Yes.
you had no lights. But-
Absolutely. When I wasn't stealing them, I was definitely going to buy the candles.
Yeah,
I was like, yeah, I had to make it
responsible.
work. Yes.
And I want to ask your thoughts about child support. Do you feel differently, like when you look back at that? Because there is a certain responsibility, and I always feel like when a man is not stepping up to handle what he needs to handle financially, sometimes that is the route that people have to go.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was very different because, first of all, Romy never had no damn money. So I was like, it's going to be, I don't know where.
Backfire.
Right. I don't know where the court's going to even get the money from for him until he came into the settlement that I didn't know he had until he had blurted it out one day in conversation telling me a story about one of his other child's moms. And I'm like, hold up, you got some money? And he like, you worrying about the wrong ish? No, I'm not. I'm actually worrying about the right ish because I've been over here struggling. Lights been off, all that. Me and Ash, like what? And so even with that being said, with me finding out that information, because he went through that money real quick, I just never wanted to, I never ever wanted to take him down child support. I never did. My thoughts on it though, if you do need it, you're a mom and you are struggling and that other parent is not helping you sustain the raising your child, you have to do that. Sometimes you have to do it. But a lot of times women do it out of spite. A lot of times women do it to get back at the father. A lot of times men do it to get back at the mother. I know men that
Yes, they
has
have
taken their children's moms down to the courts to get child support because she does not want to be with them and she moved on with another man. Like, but that happens, and that's when it's toxic. Because why would you involve the courts? Because your feelings are involved. If you really don't need to go down there, because it's hard. It's easy to put them on child support, but it's hard to take them off.
Right.
It's very, very hard.
But sometimes people end up paying less than they would have had to.
Anyway, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
So it is all based on like a lot of different things. I just was like, I was annoyed that he wasn't giving you no money. It was about, you know what I'm saying? Because you're a child, and he was acting like he just couldn't. Like, if I give you this, I'll take my son, but I won't give you any money.
Like he was like, nah, I ain't gonna put no money in your hands, but I'm gonna take my son off your hands until you get yourself together. Nah, you never taking my son off my hands. I don't even trust that. Like, I'm his primary parent, and I was young, but Rome was young too. I grew up a lot quicker than he did. Rome was very childish in a lot of ways, and I did not trust him to have Ash full time while I get myself together. No, I can get myself together and raise my son. That's what mothers do. So
when it comes to Ashton knowing the story about how he was brought onto this planet.
Yeah.
And I know he's going to, has he read this in advance?
Not yet, but he said he will. And I am nervous about that, Angela.
That's what I wanted to ask because listen, trust and believe, my dad would be like, you almost wasn't here, you know, because there's decisions that parents have to make. But it's a reality, right? And it was a blessing to have him. Yeah. But does he know the full story of how?
No.
Okay.
No, he does not. And that's one thing in writing the book. That's why I was wrestling back and forth mentally, like, do I put the part in here about not even wanting him until he was like 6 months. I was wrestling back and forth in my mind because I'm like, I never want him to feel like, well, damn, you didn't want me, but you wanted my little sister.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like but at the same time, I'm like, I can't leave out these important parts because this can help somebody. You know, this can raise awareness of how, and then it's just real, it's vulnerability. I'm like, yo,
you were 19.
I was 19 and I was 20 when I had him, and I had a breakdown one day. I'm like, yo, because if I'm reliving it, I'm like, yo, Rome was out here doing his thing. He was going to parties and living a life and in the clubs and, you know, still hanging out with his friends. I'm not able to do none of that. Yeah. I got a new baby at home. I had to move back with my mom. And my mom is like, I'm not watching this baby while you go out and be with your friends. No, you should have thought about that before you made the decision to lay down with him unprotected. And then you made a decision to have the baby. So I was jealous and I was bitter, and I was like, yo, I'm stuck here after I made the decision because it would break his heart if I was to get an abortion. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so I remember breaking down and I'm crying, Ash in the crib, and I'm like, yo, why would you pick me to be your mother? Like, why would you even pick me to do this? I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm crying, I'm throwing shit all over the place. And he did like a little a side smirk, like as a 6-month-old baby, I swear, Angela, he was like he just side smirked,
chill out,
as if to say, like, girl, you doing too much. You gotta relax, like, whatever. I didn't ask to be here, but you gonna take care of me. And right then and there, like, I looked in the mirror, crazy, ugly tears, and I bust out laughing too, like, yeah, you definitely doing too much. And I went over to the crib and I picked him up, and he just laughed, drooling all on me, and I'm like, that was the moment right there that it was like, I do want you. I'm ready to be a mom. I don't care what I got to do.
Right.
Like, I want my son.
And that was also, I'm sure postpartum is a real thing.
Yes.
When you look back at it and think, you may not realize.
I did not know.
Because there are women that feel so guilty after having a baby, feeling like, what did I do?
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah.
And now, like you said, looking back on it, that's more than likely what that was. I just felt like I felt ugly. I felt like ashamed of myself. I felt like I don't know what to do. I felt like, honestly, I wanted to give him to my mother and just run away. I wanted to hurt Rome so bad. Like, girl, it was a lot. And
imagine going through all of that and he's running around with other women, having the time of his life.
On MySpace, Facebook, like, yeah, I'm out here. What's up, y'all? Like, girl.
Oh, my God.
A real life Jody from Baby Boy. That's what he was.
One of the things that you managed to get over, and I'm not going to give away too much of the book, but this is early on, where you guys have his first birthday party.
Yes.
And Rome showed up with a whole nother chick. Late.
Yo. Yes.
And you had no idea he was going to do that. You had a plan.
Yep.
But to his defense, you did tell him the kid wasn't his.
I know. I rang the bell, yo. I sure did. I did. We were arguing. And the reason why I did that is, and you're never supposed to do that.
No,
ladies, do not ever do that, right?
It ain't your baby anyway.
Yeah,
and I know so many men have heard that
listen,
line, and they might believe it.
And yes, they might believe it. And how that comment even came about, me telling him that we was already arguing because we in a car, somebody had called his phone, and you know how the phone plugged up to the car, but they don't want to answer it. And it's like, no, answer it. Why you not answering it? Oh, it's somebody from school. She don't want nothing. She helped me with my homework. Huh? Okay, so if it's your tutor, answer the phone. And it was somebody he was dealing with. You know what I mean? And so we were arguing about it that whole night. And I was like, that's why your son not yours anyway. Ooh. And I expected for him to, I know I expected for him to keep going back and forth like, be this, be that, or whatever. He just like took a deep breath and he hung up the phone. I was like, oh my God.
And it's the birthday.
Because I was so used to the argument. So then we do the birthday party and he showed up like 2 hours late or an hour and a half late with another girl with greasy ass tracks. Crazy.
But she didn't know what was going on.
She did not know what was going on. I'm not going to lie.
She getting these strays, okay?
Yeah, I know, right? And I've seen her since then, too. I've seen her since then. She still be apologizing.
She had her Old Navy flip-flops and her feet was hanging
Girl,
up the
hanging
back
off the back. Very much dirty. I know. Because of the flip-flops. But, girl, yes. And he came in there. I'm talking about he came in there looking like he was at his album release party, like, ready. My brother was ready to whip his ass, too.
Well, thank God for the brother.
Thank God.
You've been through so much in that relationship and you really did try to hold on. But in the midst of all that, you also moved on with somebody that could have been great.
Yes.
But that was not God's plan.
No.
At that time, or your plan. Your goal in your head, in your mind, you really wanted to have this family, and be with the man who, and even no matter what he did, he could always manage to talk his way and maneuver his back way in there with you. When do you feel like that window finally closed?
When I changed my mindset, I had to change my mindset. And the mindset that I had before was like, no matter what, I'm not going to give up. Rome is going to somehow wake up and smell the coffee one day and be like, yo, I got a good girl. I'm retiring the player jersey. I'm going to be with her. We're going to have more kids. I'm going to marry her, blah, blah, blah. That's what my fairy tale was in my mind. That was my whole mindset. I'm going to be a wife and a mother. Once I stopped trying to force that piece into the puzzle that it didn't belong, I changed my mindset. I'm like, okay, I just need to accept that this is going to be a cycle of behavior that I have to change and let that go. Because just because we don't make it, just because he ain't my person, that's not the end. And then I really had a moment where I was like, I'm only 20. I'm only 21. Like,
so
yo,
young, yeah.
What? This is not like this is
not going to be my life,
girl. This ain't even. I ain't even scratched the surface of what I'm supposed to be doing yet. You know, so that immediately kicked in, and I was like, I'm never looking back. And then it was also what put the icing on the cake was Rome had another baby on the way, and he didn't tell me that. That I ended up finding that out on social media.
Because you posted.
Because I posted.
That's how you could find out. That's how you draw in what's really happening. Put up that post, baby.
Yup, I put up a post of me, him, and our son. Once we had reacquainted, got together, we felt good. We down in Baltimore, you know. He took us out on a date. I posted it, and I wake up to a comment. Oh, yeah, he got my homegirl. He got my cousin pregnant or whatever. He over here playing house with his baby mother. And I was like, girl, my whole heart dropped in my ass. Like, I didn't get up to go to work the next day. I did not even take my son to school. I was in Rome, denied it.
Of course he did. Yeah.
But you can't deny a baby. It's going to come out, honey.
That's
Goofy.
wild. Like, when did he think you were? Yeah.
You know, so after doing some digging, I found out not only did he have a baby on the way, but he was in a relationship with the girl.
Like, how was he getting away with all of this?
Exactly.
And the fact that he was okay with you posting the family, too.
You didn't
like, did he think that was going to be seen? And, you know.
No, I do not know.
You literally had to get into fist fights.
Yes, absolutely.
Which is wild, Jess. We didn't want to, there's no reason. Thank God you can fight.
Yes, thank God I can. Thank God I can. Because, girl, that was a lot.
If you're fist fighting over your man, that ain't your man.
And that's the crazy thing. I wasn't even fist fighting over him. I wasn't. We were done.
Yeah. It was over eyebrows. And that's all I'm going to say.
Okay. Y'all gotta read the book to figure out to find out exactly why.
Literally over eyebrows.
I promise y'all, I was not fighting over Rome ass. Not at that point. I was done with it.
Now let's talk about decisions that you feel like you've made in relationships up until the one that you have now.
Yes.
And there was a pattern there too with you. You feel like?
Yeah, it was a lot. You would think I learned from Ashton's father who to pick, who not to pick, what to tolerate, what's inappropriate to me, what to stand for, what not. But I didn't. I feel like the guys just got worse and worse and worse after, I totally closed that chapter with the Rome. And you know what it was, Angela? It was just me thinking about myself. I wasn't really thinking about my son and also us being a package. Like, if you date a woman with kids or a kid, whatever, she's a package. You don't only date her. You can't only just deal with her. You have to, if it's long term, if you're taking her serious, you have to consider being a father figure to our kid. Like, that's just what it is, I wasn't dating like that. Like, I was just worried about me and fulfilling whatever void I thought I needed filled, and so I meet someone else and then they're not right. Then I meet someone else and they're not right. And what they all had in common was they weren't right for my son.
Right.
But they were cool for me. Not even right for me. It was just something that I enjoyed.
They're not right for your son. They're not right for you.
Definitely not right for me. So that's what that was.
What advice would you give to women who are navigating that space of dating while they have a child who, like you said, it's a package deal?
Yeah.
But what are some things that you would say to women right now who are like, how do I know when to introduce somebody? How do I know when somebody's right to bring somebody into my life? How do I break the news? Do I need to tell the father first? Do they need to meet the father? From your experience, what would you say?
Well, honestly, it depends on whether this is for the father part. It depends on the relationship that the mom has with the co-parent. Like, are they in a good enough space for her to come and introduce somebody that she's dealing with to them? Because a lot of fathers ain't ready for that. They'll never be ready for that as long as they still got those feelings. I'm sorry, for the mom. As long as they still got feelings for the mom, they're never going to be ready to be like, open that door to be like, all right, cool. You the guy that's going to be around my son. You the guy that's going to be around my kids, my daughter. All right, cool, But I would say before you introduce that guy or that lady to your kid, you have to do an evaluation. I think everybody should date like this. Like, you have to know about past childhood traumas. How are you with children? If you don't, because everybody don't have children, you know. How are you with children? Okay, cool. You never had any? Okay, that doesn't totally X them out if they don't have children. You just got to see how they are in certain situations. How do you deal with anger? Like, how do you deal with somebody when you're angry with them? Because that was a big toxic point for me. Like, how I dealt with guys when I got angry with them. How they dealt with me when they got angry with me. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't good. It became physical a lot of times. I used to put my hands on men and you know, they would put their hands on me back, but it's like, I ain't scared. I'm not calling the police. I'm just letting you know this ain't gonna fly. You know what I mean? So it was, you have to, you don't have to be totally healed, because that's a journey.
Yeah.
Like,
who is totally healed?
Girl, nobody. Yeah. I really honestly feel
We're
like
all
nobody.
on that journey still.
And life keeps lifing. While you're healing from one thing, another thing can be hurting you.
Yeah.
You know what
like,
I'm saying?
can I just have one day of the peace?
Just peace, right? Peace all the way around. So yeah, you got to evaluate these people. You got to have like interviews at dinner. Don't be looking, and when you get to know somebody, don't be in the phone all day posting saying, oh, this cute, he bought me here, he took me here, whatever. Like, no, it ain't even about that. Does he know his mom? Does he have a relationship with his mom? Does he know his dad? Is he trying to find his dad? Like, how is he? His grandmother raised him? Okay, what did she teach him? What are the qualities? Like, is he emotionally intelligent? Like, all of those things I wish that I had known back then.
Right.
But that's a part of living and things like that.
How are you going to have a conversation with Ashton before he read? Are you going to talk to him first? You're going to let him read it and then talk to him? Like, what's the plan?
I would love to talk to him, because I don't want him to read that part about me being unsure whether I wanted to keep him or not, or like not wanting a baby that young after I had already had him. I want to be able to explain where I was in that moment, explain my age, and just explain, not making excuses, but being real with him. Ash, this is what it was.
It wasn't about him. It was about that, like, even like you said, Rome was doing so much while you were pregnant.
Yeah.
You were kind of by yourself, but not just by yourself, but also going through a lot of like devastating things.
Exactly.
That wasn't a joyful
pregnancy was not fun. And you know, I'm on TV. I'm watching TV of big pregnant women. I used to watch the show. It used to come on A&E. Oh my God, The Baby Story. And I would see couples and the man is rubbing on the bellies,
classes,
and they going
together, breathe,
all the classes and stuff, right? And then the appointments and stuff they're enjoying together, and then talking about what the baby name is gonna be, and he's gonna act like you, and he's gonna act like you. You know, not saying Rome and I didn't have any of those moments, but it just was a devastation because he wasn't faithful, he wasn't loyal that whole time, and I'm like, damn, I made the decision of keeping my child because I didn't want to upset you.
Right.
Because I know you lost your mom, and I know this is going to bring you some type of, comfort and company, and give you someone to love in place of a person that you lost, that you loved the most. And so I was going through all of that, you know what I mean? And that just made it very hard. But I'm going to talk to him.
What about your parents too? Now, I know in the beginning they were supportive of you, but we don't hear much about, like, because you didn't really want to let them know everything but trust and believe, like you said, them church people was talking
real bad.
Yeah, real bad.
Yes.
Because it's, like you said, it's Baltimore, it was small, and everybody knows everybody.
Mm-hmm. And imagine having to tell your parents not only that you're pregnant, but, hey, this is my boyfriend too. They didn't even know that I was dating anybody. Like, they didn't. Not that they expected me to be like, to myself, like, no, I'm in the corner all day, like house on the prairie, or like anything like that. It wasn't that. It was just the fact that I had never introduced anybody to them to be my boyfriend.
That was the first.
Anything. So that was the first. And I had to tell them all that in one conversation. Hey, this is my boyfriend, Rome, who I've been staying over his house in the basement with the cats, by the way, and I'm pregnant. Boom. It's like, okay, what the hell do we do with all that? Back up. What? You know what I mean? And my father, although he was the lenient parent growing up, he still was like, he was the most disappointed in me because I never talked to him about dating, having sex, what it's like.
Yeah, so you never had the sex conversation.
No.
Neither did I with my parents.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and that's a thing.
It is a thing.
How do you feel like that now? Because being a mom of two, you got to have that. Have you had that conversation?
I've had the conversation with Ash.
Yeah.
Yeah, my daughter's one, but I had the conversation.
Well, yeah, not your
with,
daughter.
Yeah, I know. But
I like what?
I had the conversation with him. But I think Ashton is more comfortable with talking about like sex and all that with his dad and my husband, to be honest, because he opens up a lot more to them about like even the girl that he's dating now, like his girlfriend who he's been with for a while, whatever. It's hard. Like, he don't even want me to meet her yet. Like,
you haven't met her yet?
No, but he introduced my mom to her.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Why have you not met the girlfriend?
I'm like, wow, what is going on? He's like, you going to meet her?
Because that's probably going to be lit for her, too. Like,
yeah. So I don't know whether he's, like, protecting that. Like,
right.
Hold up, wait. Everybody just can't meet my mom because, you know my mom is. I don't know, but I feel shut out. I don't like it. Because my husband and his father, Rome, they're really close. They're close. They assist each other in raising Ashton. You know what I'm saying? And they have conversations. Ash tell him stuff, and I'm like, well, I want to know. And Ash be like, chill, beloved. He got this new thing where he calls me beloved. Absolutely. So yeah, I wish I did. I wish he did talk to me more.
But even after that, when initially they found out, did you kind of like keep all of because there was so much drama going on?
Yeah.
And even like introducing them to another guy, like did Emmanuel meet them?
Yes, Emmanuel met both of my parents. My father was very relieved to find out that I had met someone like Emmanuel, right? Because my father early on didn't particularly care for Rome.
I'm sure.
Yeah. No, not, yes. He was like, nah, but he was like, okay, all right, cool. He wasn't like overly inviting, like, oh yes, finally, but he was more open to a man like Emmanuel, like, okay, he's older, he can teach her something, he is mature, he has a job, he works, like, he's family oriented, he's close with his mom, and he's like the oldest of all of his siblings and things like that. He just had different qualities. And my mom is a deacon in the church. She don't judge nobody. She pray for everybody. She see the good in everybody. Yeah, so she loves everybody until you.
And she's close with Rome too.
Very close. Like, she immediately got close with him though. Like, I don't know what it was that she saw in him. Not even just for me. She was just like, this boy has clearly been through a lot and he needs love. He needs comfort. He needs nurturing. And my mom was that for him since day one.
Right.
So, yeah. But, yeah, it was a lot of drama surrounding that. So, when I met Emmanuel, and I was like, okay, this is my knight in shining armor. And then one sit down with Rome, and instead of, I thought I was doing something good.
It's so interesting because you avoided Rome for such a long time, but in a way, maybe you knew that seeing him again, he'll be able to manipulate you into continuing that cycle that had been going on.
That's why I was like reluctant to meet with him. I was like, nah, I ain't trying to do it. I knew in the back of my mind, like, if I see him again, all the feelings are going to rush back, and I'm going to let him weave that web and get me back into the trap. I knew that, but I wasn't being honest with myself because I was like, out of sight, out of mind. As long as I don't see him, I can get over him real quick.
Yeah.
No. You laid down with this man. Y'all produced a seed. Like, you gave birth to some. Like, you're connected to him in a way. You need to detach yourself intimately from him before you can move forward and not have those feelings. And what I thought was going to be a meeting of conclusion, no, he basically did what he had always done, started saying all the right things. And I thought I was doing something good. I'm like, you know what? Instead of cheating on my man that I got at home with you, I'm going to go home, break up with him, and be a good woman about it, and then try to give my family another chance.
I was like, damn, Jess, you was supposed to say, well, let me think about it.
Goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy.
I'm going to tell you, the most heartbreaking thing is when somebody says to you, I can't even look at you the same anymore. Yeah.
Angela,
that's like the worst, when it's like,
no,
I'm not even.
Yes.
Like, it's kind of like being, you disgust me.
Yes.
In a way.
Yes. And that's the more respectful way to say it, though. Like, I can't look at you the same, but that's how it hits. You disgust me. And then when they hit you with the such and such told me this was going to happen. when he said that, I was like, no, oh my God. I was, girl. Oh, that's why they got to read the book. But that was one of the most heartbreaking parts to relive writing the book. Because when I was pregnant, I wrote the book while I was pregnant. Mm-hmm. So I had a whole bunch of hormonal episodes. I was like upset, then I was mad, and then I had pregnancy brain too, so I couldn't remember certain things, and I had to call Rome, and now he's helping me relive the stuff, and I'm like, nigga, that's why I hated you. And he like, damn, yo, chill. That's why I ain't even want to tell you. I ain't even want to remind you about what I did, yo. You know, but that, yeah, that was one of the most heartbreaking parts.
You know, it's interesting because you've also been having conversations with this book coming out, based around, like, you have Rome's ex-girlfriend, baby mom.
Yep.
You had her on the podcast with you. Would you have Emmanuel on and have a conversation?
Girl,
I would love to hear.
I actually would love to talk to Emmanuel as well. I do not know. The last time I checked, Emmanuel was in jail.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Well, he can call you Collect. No.
We're going to get the interview some type of way. Right.
Emmanuel was in jail?
Yes.
Not him.
Yes.
You sent him down the wrong path, girl. What
yes,
happened?
He had got shot in the butt and everything.
What?
Like, it was, yes, I know. And I know everybody going to be like,
okay,
she
maybe
lying
that
because
is
she
God's
being a comedian. But
protection.
no, for real, I swear, that's real. I heard that he got shot right in his ass, yo. And I was like, oh my God, I want to know if he okay. But I couldn't reach him or anything. And the crazy thing is, I used to work with his sister at McDonald's. Like, she was,
world.
Yes, it was crazy.
You were stealing from McDonald's.
Girl, real bad. I would register right at night. Like, not playing. But yeah, I am going to try, because that was the last time I heard that he was in jail. He might be home now. This was like 2 years ago.
Right.
So I'm going to try to see. But I would definitely love to sit down with him.
That would be a good one. I want to hear, that's a tough conversation.
Yes, it is.
So do you have insight into what happened with Ice Spice and McDonald's? You have no.
Girl, listen, I didn't even know that it was a second altercation. So first of all,
in the street after.
Yes, I was so mad at her to see that happened, because I'm like, yo, you from New York. Brace yourself. You can't talk about somebody's body language that they ready to fight. They ready to squabble. The same video I watched is the same video everybody else watched. The girl had her hands on the table leaning over. Like, that didn't look like no fan. It looked like somebody that's pressing you. Like,
yeah.
And for the first words to come out your mouth to be is, where you from? I ain't even got to tell you where I'm from. I'm standing up and we guffing. Like, we fighting. I'm sorry.
Jess.
I'm sorry.
Okay. We don't do that no more.
No,
not
no more.
She's still
not no
back
more.
in this book mode.
I know. Oh my God,
you literally, when you read the book and you see her rolling up to fight somebody, okay, I was like, Jess, you know, it's interesting to me right now, the space that you're in, on the Breakfast Club, and I just want to talk about now, because you've always done Just with the Mess. Mm-hmm. You've always done your stand-up. But it's different for people now when they hear you on the radio, and then you have to report on things. And sometimes people don't like it.
Yeah, no, because you know what it is. Girl, that job is for a journalist. That's what that is. And that is not what I am. I am a comedian that do commentary on headlines. And it's different. Doing Just with the Mess on the radio is very different, because for the most part, you really have to see it. You know what I mean? You can't. I'm such a visual type of comedian. You can't just listen, although you can, but certain things, you got to be able to see it, because I'm expressive as well. And although, you know, Breakfast Club is a visual podcast and everything too, the people in their cars, like, it's still primarily radio. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to. And
on the app, you get to listen.
You know what I'm saying? Yup, and on the app, so it's hard for me to do it. So I just was like, nah, it's not. Breakfast Club is not the right space for Just with the Mess.
Right.
It's not.
And you know, because it's interesting, because I'll run into people sometimes, if I report something, they'll be mad about it. And I'm like, why y'all mad at me for reporting something that everybody else? And the other thing I realized too is that you could talk great about somebody like 1,000 times. If there's one time that you're like, I didn't really like that song or whatever,
then that's a problem.
It's a problem.
They forget everything else that you said.
They don't
positive.
Even acknowledge that. It's not like they hit you up like, oh, thank you for saying that.
Right.
Or, thanks for the compliment. But as soon as it's
something negative, and it don't even have to be real negative. You can just.
The opinion holds so much more weight in the space that you're in. What has that adjustment been like for you, though? I mean, it's been years now.
Yeah. People, to be honest, the only person that got mad at me saying anything is still what's her name? Sexy Red. It's still sexy. She's not mad anymore, but she was upset. She walked in with this is how I first started, and she had walked in, and I was like, she was pregnant, and I went to hug her. She was like, I don't deal with you, Jess. Like, I don't deal with you. I don't mess with you like that. And I was like, damn, what I do? And she couldn't even remember what I did. Yeah. I think I called her like a dweeb or something, like something that's like, that's a remark that I learned from my white friends in high school. Like, you dweeb. She ain't like that. You know what I mean? But after like 10 minutes, she was cool. Oh, Jim Jones.
Oh, Jim Jones is manager?
Jim Jones, yeah.
I didn't even know that.
He had felt a little way about something because I just sat down with him and did his podcast for my book as well. And he was like, man, damn this book. Anyway, it was like...
He wasn't that mad if he had you on, though.
Yeah, no. Right. But he definitely wanted me to know that he did feel a little way, about, I guess I had said something about his studio being a little cold.
Oh.
Well,
everybody was having jokes about that, though.
Yeah, because they always layered up. They always got on coats and stuff, at the...
It's been a tough winter.
And I even seen in the back of the video that said 59 degrees one time. He the one that got the thermostat in the damn camera.
Okay.
So I said, all I did was zoom, Jim, and I seen 59. I know they cold in there, but the weather is breaking. It's spring now, and I was in there the other day, and it's not cold.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's cold right now, but
it is definitely cold. Yeah, I'm glad I ain't had to go there today.
Okay.
But say no, Jim, I'm joking. But no, it was pretty cool. But yeah, she was literally the person who got the maddest, and honestly, I didn't even really think she was real serious about that.
Yeah, she, and like you said, she forgot what it was about, and then it felt like things smoothed over. You handled it well.
Absolutely, yeah. And gotta think about it. She was pregnant. Imagine waking up every day, and she was like 8 months pregnant. Just imagine waking up every day and online. You got your fan base, but you see a bunch of people just coming at you about anything and everything you do. Although she brings a lot of that on herself because of how she, what she put out there, how she behaved, things she say, but when you pregnant, it's amplified,
right?
Because now you taking everything into account. You're sensitive about everything. So I understood, but by the end of the interview, she was inviting me to the baby shower and everything. So it really wasn't a problem.
Yeah, that's good. I love to see it. So how is it for you being here in New York all the time too?
Girl. Still trying to adjust. I love New York, but I love New York to visit and then take my ass home. Like, for real. Ain't no grass, ain't no trees, ain't nothing. All these different smells. I'm coming to work. I cannot understand how, what I rode past the other day? I rode past, on my way back to Jersey City, I rode past this restaurant, right? And we had like 80-degree weather last week. And it was like an outdoor part of the restaurant. And right next to it, big stacks of trash.
Oh,
trash bags. I'm like, yo, why?
There's definitely rats right there, too.
Why is that okay?
Outdoor dining in New York, there's going to be rats running under your feet and everything. Yeah.
And the white people was just there like, yeah, you want another taste of my margarita? Like, they were just like chilling. Like,
we got to get the bins together.
Yeah, wasn't nobody black sitting right there, though. But them white people, the rats is the friends of them.
What about waking up early?
I'm still trying to adjust to that.
Yeah, let me tell you, that's something I never adjusted to.
You never adjusted to doing the show for 15
years? I never in my life
years?
got used to get it. People would say, oh, you're used to it now. It's not anything I ever got adjusted to. And I felt like, damn, Jess is pregnant and then had a newborn and then had to get up early. That's a lot of work.
Yes, doing makeup every morning. And listen, when I first got the job, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to make a fashion statement every day.
Oh, yeah, it's not going to work.
Girl, no.
Yeah.
Getting up at 3:30.
I used to be in my sweats every day. People would be like, damn, she ain't it. Well, sorry, I got dressed. Sometimes I'll get dressed in the dark.
Yep.
Because my eyes not fully open.
Adjusted.
And I would be like, oh, this don't match.
Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't even see it until you get
I wouldn't even see it till I got to work. And I'd be like, damn.
Yeah, I'm still trying to adjust to that. So all of that, Jazz, no makeup. Oh my God, no wig. No, nothing. Honestly, no. I'm up here. No, I'm one of them. No.
But it feels good.
And
you're going on tour for the book as well.
Yes, I am. I'm on a promo tour for the book.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So does it feel good?
It does feel good.
Is Jess in an amazing space?
Yes, Listen,
married, you celebrated a year?
Yes, I just celebrated a year of marriage with my husband, Chris. And girl, guess what I did a day before the anniversary?
You got
I
pregnant?
lost my ring. Girl,
Oh,
no.
okay.
No. We gonna have somebody else try to steal the job? No. No, girl. Not for a second time. I only can take one person at a time.
Can't miss no days.
Girl, no days. But no, man. I lost my ring.
What?
Yo, yes, I did. And I tried to backtrack. Like, oh my God, where did I lost it Thursday. But I was like, and my anniversary was Friday. So I was like, you know what? I remember the last place I had it was in my husband's truck. So I get home from work Friday morning and I'm like, all right, let me go check in the truck. My husband got his truck detailed inside and out. So I couldn't find, it was squeaky clean. I couldn't find nothing.
And if they found it, it's over.
It's over. It is over. Yo. And so, especially if they Mexican too, because if you go back and you be like, they can act like they don't speak English.
Don't do that, Jess.
And they know they did. I'm just saying that because, girl, then they want to be like, I don't understand. Like, no, you understand. So, girl, and I thought he was playing the trick on me. Like, you know what? He probably found it.
He hit it.
And he's going to pop out with it at dinner or wherever he takes me today. No. So this is what I did. I went to him. I was like, I know you got my ring. Like, can you just give it to me already? And he was like, what? Ooh. Your ring? Yeah, you don't have it on. You haven't worn it today. Like, and I was like, psych, I lost it. I thought that he had it, yo. So I was just going off the fact that he had it and he was like, no, you don't have your ring on and it's your anniversary. He was more upset with the fact that I lost it a day before our anniversary.
Wow, so it's really lost. I thought this was going to have a good ending.
No, it's still bad.
Damn. Is it insured?
Yes, it's insured.
Of course. Okay.
Yes, it's insured. So yeah, but it just hurt
you
my
get
feelings
a tattoo,
that I
that's
didn't.
it.
I know, but it just still hurt me
Right
that I lost
before.
it on my first anniversary. Like
You know they have your ring there too.
I know.
Somebody got a nice gift.
Yes, girl. Yeah, a big ass tip. Hello.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
I was waiting for you to be like, and then I found it.
No.
Okay.
So we're gonna get another one because he did get it insured. Thank God. But yeah.
How was it now, like relationship wise, getting married, and how do you know like what to post, what not to post? Because we know you from social media. You went viral that way first. Mm-hmm. So how do you feel about like, because you know people always want to weigh in and have things to say, and I know.
Girl,
relationship wise, he may not be wanting to be like
he is
in the mix.
The total opposite, right? Mm-hmm. So you can literally only find, I can count on my hand how many pictures I have posted of my husband, and we've been together for 3 years, and we've only been married for 1, but been together for 3 years, and he is not the person that likes to be in pictures and videos and all up and everything. No, he is not the Diddy of the label. Like, no, he does not like to be in anything.
How do you feel about Dr. Umar?
He actually find Dr. Umar real funny.
Okay.
To be honest. But I don't know, I had to lie to Dr. Umar, yo, because he be in the business for real, yo. And I ain't got time for no pro-black lecture. Like, yo, I'm black. Trust me, I love our sisters and brothers, yo, but this is who I'm with, and that is what it is, you know. But yeah, my husband does not like to be in the limelight at all. Mm-hmm. And so that's been an adjustment, because I've been trying to get him to do like couples content, stuff like that. He ain't really open his. I can feel him opening up to it, but not really.
Like little TikTok challenges.
Yeah, like little stuff. He's not really for it, but he's gonna start. Hopefully, he's getting more comfortable with the camera.
What do you think about this whole thing? I had this conversation with Laura Coates about social media being addictive.
Yeah,
and you know how you monitor that, even for yourself.
Yes.
Because that is something with you. Mm-hmm. You're on the phone a lot. You're creating content. Yeah. It's not easy to do because some of it requires like editing. And how is that? And how does Chris feel about that?
Honestly, we had a moment where this was not too long ago. This was like last year sometime, where he's like, yo, you wake up, first thing you do is grab your phone. Before you go to sleep, last thing you do is grab your phone. Like, you walk in the house on the phone. You got to be able to disconnect yourself, because then you wonder why I say things to you and you're a little snappy. You wonder why in certain conversations with other people outside of work or in what you do, you're snappy or you're tired or you don't want to talk about it. It's because your energy is being like consumed by like you're consuming everything online, and we only get you in fragments. Like everybody else around you only gets you in fragments because of how much you're consuming. Like this is like your full-time job, being on the phone. And that didn't feel good to hear, but I definitely had to turn the mirror on myself. Like, damn, you right. Even like getting in certain beefs online, like how I would let that consume me. And he would be like, yo, you must like this, don't you? You like this. As much as you swear you don't, as much as you be in them comments fighting, acting like you unbothered and all that. Yeah, you like this. And I'm like, no, I don't. And he's like, yeah, well, you give them fuel to add to the fire. You make it bigger when you respond.
Right.
And then it'll die out, but you go and make it bigger again when you see one comment that you feel like needs a response. You know, so he's very much been a mentor for me, you know, on that front.
Yeah.
Yes, very helpful.
I saw you did the AI interview. You said the middle finger emoji is your most popular.
Yes, that's all I do now. That's all I do. I just be like, that's it. I don't cuss people out. I don't call you nothing no more. I just give you the middle
How was
finger.
it doing an AI interview?
That was different. See, Will.i.am is a very futuristic person, so it wasn't out of the norm for him to ask me to sit down with his AI host. I just didn't know what to expect. And he has this... you know, he's from California, so he has this big, I think 30,000 square foot studio. It's called FYI, and everything is like AI, right? And the AI host name is Finn, and we walk into this room, and it's like screened from wall to wall, right? And then it's like a chair in the middle. I felt like I was in a Matrix.
That's funny.
And you sit down, and it's a camera in front of you, and it's like the room is talking to you, and it's like speaker sensitive, so you feel the vibrations when Finn talks. That's the AI host's name, Finn. You feel the vibration when he talks, and then it's like they're taking you on this ride, because it's like whatever the mood of Finn is, that's what you're gonna see,
right?
Like pictures or the landscape of whatever is on the screen around you, and I thought it was dope. Like, it was dope. Now, obviously, Finn can't emote, because I feel like that's the only thing that AI can't do is emote. But it's like, he knew a lot about me.
Yeah, they got all your data now.
Everything.
They sat you, they screened, you know.
Damn, Angela.
I don't know.
Look, you never know. Because Will.i.am, you never know. He cool, Elon and everything. Like, they text bases and everything. So you never know what they doing.
Well, Till Death Do We Parent is coming out April 28th. Feels good. You're on tour.
Yes.
Kicking it off in Brooklyn, I believe.
Yeah. Definitely kicking it off in Brooklyn and Dumbo, Powerhouse Arena. Get your tickets if you haven't yet. I'm going to be doing a live Q&A for the book. I'm going to be signing books. We're going to have a fireside chat. And the conversation will be moderated by Fox Morning anchor T. Whitlow. I can't wait to be in the building with you guys. It starts at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. At the Powerhouse Arena. So that's Thursday, April 30th in Dumbo. Now, look, do you say... just Dumbo, New York, or
Dumbo? It's
okay,
Brooklyn.
because girl, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
you know,
okay,
everybody
so
knows Dumbo in Brooklyn just because of what it used to look like versus what it is now. And then Jay-Z always talks about how he should have invested when he had the chance. And then, of course, we have Dumbo House.
Okay, so Dumbo House. All right,
Brooklyn.
I never knew.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought
you got to spend some more time in
I
Brooklyn.
know.
Jess.
It sounded like I was just like offending people. All right, Dumbo. Like, I don't know. I didn't know. Okay, so y'all meet me in Dumbo, y'all. Thursday, April 30th at Powerhouse Arena.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you,
it's
Angie.
nice to see where you are today. Yeah. And this is amazing to see the journey that it took for you to get there. But I know people will relate to this, and they're going to love to hear your story.
Yes.
And they're going to take some gems from it. And hopefully this is going to make people, if they're in this situation, figure out ways that they can co-parent more effectively.
Yes. Thank you, Angela. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Jess.